Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is me, Dee Dee Love, and I am popping in real quick right now. I would like to talk about Kamille, Cupcake McKinney. Unfortunately, the body of 3-year-old Kamille Cupcake McKinney was found in a dumpster. They haven't confirmed, but they're pretty sure it's her. Kamille was abducted 10 days ago from in front of a project at a birthday party. I didn't report on it from the beginning because I like to get all the information, and in my hearts of hearts, I was really hoping and praying that the little baby would be found alive. From the beginning, this story, it just troubled me because there were so many people outside, but no one was watching the children. When I'm at the grocery store, anywhere, the Walmart, anywhere I see a child that's alone, I'm like, where's your mother? Are you lost? So, it was Kamille and another little girl. The man had left a trail of candy, and the little girls followed the candy out, and they snatched Kamille, not the other little girl. Prior to finding out this information, on the day of the abduction, what I found alarming was the police were not immediately called. It was like, I think they said like 3 or 4 hours had gone by because the father had, the little girl was at the party with her mother, but I guess she called the father first. And the father thought that he could find the little girl on his own. I'm not really sure why. We have to get away from this not calling 911. I understand in certain situations, but your child goes missing. The first number you need to dial is 911, especially in a situation like that. So, once the police were called and the Amber Alert went out, they immediately found the car that was connected to the disappearance of Kamille Cupcake McKinney. Excuse me. Had they called the police right away, as quickly as they found that car, more than likely they would have found Kamille. But the man who they picked up, who was driving the car, was arrested on pornography charges and released. So he was arrested with another lady. 3 days after the abduction, Kamille was spotted on tape, on video at a store, with a strange man and another little boy. See, this pornography thing is real. It is affecting children. I saw a little girl at the mall today, a young little white girl, and I wanted to ask her, was that her father or her boyfriend? Because it is cold here. As y'all can hear, it's raining, And she had on some cheerleading shorts up to the crack of her booty. And she was in the mall, and it was just so inappropriate that everyone who walked by was looking like, oh my God, what is going on here? And we're failing our children by being their friends. We have allowed the government to tell us that we don't need to parent, we don't have the right. A lot of people want to be friends with their children. Like, I'm always accused of being an old mother. Oh, you old school. Absolutely. Children are being preyed upon. Look how this little girl, her life was snatched out of her body for no reason. And it was about opportunity. All of those people around, and nobody saw these strange people leading these 2 little girls from outside of the area. Who was watching the children? What are we doing as adults? Women, I ask, where are the standards? I see things on here, and I see how women laugh at situations and encourage negativity, and we're not paying attention to the right things. You have the ear of a lot of people, mothers, children, aunties, neighbors, strangers. And we need to start putting out some information that people can actually use, because in this situation right here, this could have been prevented. 3 years old, why is she outside alone and nobody's watching out for the babies? Why? Thank God, they didn't take the other little girl, but it was 2 little girls. Nobody cared. They have surveillance of some man walking by who sees these 2 little girls on the sidewalk where there's no adult supervision, and he keeps going, and he never even looks back. He doesn't look down. But it wasn't his responsibility. It's the responsibility of the parent. It's just so sad and so heartbreaking. My prayers go out to everyone, but we need to look out for our children and everyone else's. It truly takes a village. This should never have happened. May Kamille, Cupcake, McKinney rest in peace. Bless her family and bless everyone who was out there. And God touched them in ways that only they know how they need to be touched, because clearly there's a lot of negativity going on in that area, because these were bad decisions on the parts of parents. I'm sorry if you're offended, but it is what it is. And you can't change what you do not acknowledge, and that needs to be acknowledged. So if you are a parent, or your sister, your cousin, your girlfriends, they leave their kids outside or unattended and shit like that, you talk to them and you tell them this is what can happen. Spread the word. Good night.